in life, we've been told that if you can dream it, you can achieve it, and whatever you put your mind to, you're able to achieve it. And I guess for today, we get to really speak to us and really demonstrate for us exactly what that means. As a man who is currently working on crutches, he's been able to run his first two Oceans Marathon, the first person to ever do that, and I think he runs faster than I do. We'll get to chat to my good friend Ipeleng Khunou, better known as Crazy Legs. I think some call him that. Others call him Crazy, others call him the Crash Runner. But we get to understand exactly who is Ipeleng Khunou, where he comes from, and why he does the thing that he does. Ipeleng, good afternoon, welcome to Conversation with Nnusi.
Lucy, great to be here.
Thanks for your time, man. So I think let's maybe start off by asking, so who's Ipeleng Khunou? I mean, we see you running, but who's Ipeleng Khunou?
Yeah, Ipeleng Khunou, I was born with a disability. So, being born with a disability, you were always seen as the special child, one
Mm.
that used to be taken care of, the one that sort of like, need extra help. But for
Mm.
me, growing up, I felt quite the opposite. So I've always felt like, you know what, I need to do things so that people can take me seriously,
Mm.
or not as much seriously, but people can see that no, this guy can actually do these things on his own. Yeah.
And I mean, we'll get to speak about that in length and in detail in a short while. But where's home?
Yeah, I grew up pretty much in boarding schools. I grew up in Muruleng, then my parents moved to Kotsaning. So
Mm.
pretty much we've moved wherever was the school closest. Uh, we moved literally chasing a school for children with disabilities.
Oh,
So yeah,
so your folks were just trying to make you
yeah,
comfortable and get you as close to schools as humanly possible.
yeah.
And you've got any siblings, or are you the only child?
Yeah, I've got a brother. He is, I think he's 37. So there's
Okay.
a, yeah.
Right. So maybe let's just get to chat about what you do. I mean, like I said, you are known as the crutch runner. Some call you crazy legs. But how did you start running? I mean, as you rightfully said that you're born with a disability, and people always gave you extra care. But for you, why did you start running? I mean, and I can't even imagine running in crutches. How did you start running?
Nisi, I've always been an active child. At some point, I broke my arm in high school ice skating because that's just me.
Uh,
So, 2016, when I was 120 kgs, that was just not a thing for me. At the time, I was working, living in Soweto, so there was no way I was getting to gym. So one day, I just gave it a try, and it just worked.
mm.
And yeah.
I mean, you spoke that you're born with a disability. What kind of disabilities that you're referring to?
I was born with septo-optic dysplasia. To put it simple terms, I was born without balance.
Mm.
So literally, it doesn't make sense to people, but I was born not to be able to stand up.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay. So then you started running one day, and you never stopped.
yeah.
So and in terms of so what was the reception from the people? So how did people receive it? Because I mean it's unheard of to see somebody running on crutches.
It's been quite nice. Apart from a couple of race organizers, but the actual runners, it's
Mm.
been quite encouraging to see the guys happy to see me run with them. I mean, I think my first race where I ran with Gerda's parents, at the time I had no idea who Gerda was,
Mm.
and they literally were saying this. They were quite encouraging to see me run. So such people, and yeah, it's been quite an interesting journey.
Um, in 2016, I think you made history. You became the first person to run two Oceans Marathon on crutches, right? And this is down in Cape Town. How was that experience for you? And how did that change your life as a person and as a runner?
Yo, Lucy, I've grown. Hey,
Mm.
that experience alone just opened so many doors, and just my thinking in general, because I don't think I knew how big or what a significant thing that was gonna be. So, for me, running that, it also made me realize how many people I've reached, just
Mm.
what I can do with my awareness, in terms of running and so on. So yeah.
And what was the driving force behind you running two oceans? I mean, you could have run. any other race. But what was special about Two Oceans Marathon specifically?
Yeah, Two Oceans is literally one of the toughest 21Ks in South Africa, and I'm always pushing myself to do something that is that a normal person would say I can't do. So
Mm.
for me, compared how tough it is and everything else, it just makes so much sense to say, well, if I want to run, then surely I must run the toughest race. Yeah.
I mean, Ipeleng, we, we, we might downplay this, but I think you hog the spotlight, you hog the headlines in that race because everybody that was watching that race and everyone was reporting on the race spoke about there's a guy who's running on crutches. And everyone that wanted to see this. So what was that experience like for you? I mean, you started running. I'm assuming people started, running with you and asking you questions and wanting to take pictures with you. But how did that affect you as a runner?
Uh, yo, uh, Apart from making me feel like, listen, I think you get to feel like you are doing something that you are meant to
Mm.
be, that you are supposed to be doing with your life.
Yeah.
And the fact that people are celebrating it, I mean, it's not often where you do something and people literally just celebrate your life. So for me, that was that kind of a feeling. And yeah, it was just an amazing feeling that I did not expect at
Mm.
all. Yeah.
And I mean, post you running Two Oceans Marathon, I think that was also springboard because then the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund or Foundation came on board and wanted to do a bit of work with you. How did that come about and what was that experience like for you, especially for the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund in the UK wanting to do some work with you?
Uh, that was amazing because of I've always so whenever I ran, I've always had this thing that I knew that I was different. I knew that I ran on crutches, so as little as I can, but I've always wanted to raise disability awareness. So working with the Nelson Mandela Children's Funds in the UK, I knew that a certain portion of their thing goes to disability. So
Mm.
it made so much sense. But obviously, going to London and celebrating the Nelson Mandela centenary there and running with, I was supposed to run with about 100 South Africans, where I thought it was just a thing where they said you're going to run with 100 South Africans and it never got going to happen. But it was literally there where
Mm.
people literally ran with me. So that was just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your relationship with the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund in the UK obviously opened a lot of doors for you and granted you opportunities that you never thought were possible. So I mean, if you were to look into a crystal ball and say this is what I want to achieve for myself in the next 5 years, what do you want to do for yourself in the next 5 years?
Nnusi, I wanna run at the Paralympics. At the moment, running on crutches is not yet a Paralympic sport.
Okay.
So that's my long-term dream. I've been going through legal wars with that, and
Mm.
you lose some, you win some. But that's my main goal. So what I'm currently doing is this year already I'm running Amsterdam Marathon if all goes well. So the plan is to run as many international races as possible and to lobby support with other sport federations for me to compete at their events.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean, we will get to speak about your international aspirations. Wanting to run Paralympics, wanting to do a lot of international races. But bring it home.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a lot of support that's been given, to people? And I hate using the word disabilities, but do you think a lot has been done to support differently abled people in sport?
Uh, Unfortunately, not.
Mm.
It has downgraded. It has honestly dwindled down from where it was, I'd say, in the 2000s. So I think it's a bit harder now.
Mm.
I don't know how it got to this point, but I mean, even the TV work and everything else, you can see that it's less. You see less people less sports for people living with disabilities, such things. So I'm hoping that it might change, but obviously the more uh, good brands with disability do well, then hopefully it will bring a change into the sports.
And I mean, I also know that you're running with the Nedbank Running Club, or you're a member of the Nedbank Running Club. So how did that come about? How did that relationship come about? Where did you find each other? Where did they find you? And how's it going?
I did an interview with Tato and Gerda, and on the interview, Gerda mentioned that I ran with her parents, and from there on, we just exchanged numbers and started talking. She was like, "Listen, why don't you come to Nedbank?" Approached Nedbank, and yeah, it worked out.
Mm.
Yeah.
And how's that going for you? Are you participating in all of the activities, or is it just special events that you participate in?
I'm a runner. I'm a runner, so I have to run as many. I have to run all my events as much as possible, which are 21 K. So,
Mm.
yeah, I'm a runner. I do not get special preference or anything like that. Yeah.
Mm. So, I mean, the Olympics are coming, they'll be followed by the Paralympics, and you've mentioned the fact that you want to participate at the Paralympics. And I think that's the dream of every sports person, to go compete and represent your country at the highest level. Um, but there's a child, in the streets of South Africa somewhere, who has got the same ambitions of participating in sport, but have got the same challenges that you have. How would you encourage them to keep at it? How would you encourage them to keep going and never give up?
Uh, I think it's definitely not easy, but I would say volunteering. Volunteering. I think in South Africa we don't do things for free. So
Hmm.
sell your talent by doing things for free.
Okay.
Show your value by doing things for free, and you'll see it sort of like adds up.
Hmm.
It adds up.
I mean, Ipeleng, I think you run faster than that much I can tell you. I don't think I can ever run with you because I'll lose this thing. And so, I mean, if you were to give a message of support, to other young people that have got different challenges, or that have got almost the same challenges as you, who also want to participate in sport, um, what would you tell them? What would you say to them?
Lucy, we've got only one life, and sometimes you really need to dig deep and look at yourself and just honestly ask yourself how hard do you want it, whatever you want to achieve, whether it's sports or anything like that. Only you sometimes can control what happens with your life. Yes, you'll get outside help and so on, but if you're persistent with your dream, uh, only you can, lead your dream to where you want to go. So it's a matter of how hard you want it.
And do you think there's a lot of there's enough support from corporate South Africa in terms of sports, especially sports with people with disabilities?
Unfortunately not.
Mm.
Unfortunately not. That's still a thing where uh, the other problem with that is I think our federations are not doing enough to sell,
Uh,
yeah, what we do.
and Ipeleng, in conclusion, or as we head towards the end, if you were to sit and quantify success for you, what does success look like to you?
Success would be for me to see a category for people running on crutches, running one day winning medal like other Paralympians at
Mm.
the Paralympics.
So that's what success looks like
Yeah.
for you. And for yourself, what would you like to achieve as somebody who's a runner? I mean, you spoke about the fact that you always wanted to advocate for people living with disabilities. You've always wanted to be the face, that says, as much as I'm differently able from the rest of the people that are around me, but I can be as good as them. So for yourself, what do you want to achieve for yourself personally?
I want to run as much as possible, but obviously the dream would be to run track at least for maybe the next 5 years. I think I still have enough good speed. In fact, I'm still improving. So for me, I would love to run track, and yeah, probably the last 15 years just continue running marathons.
The last 15 years.
Yeah,
So you want to start running, you want to continue running for the next 20 years.
yeah.
Okay. Well, Ipuleng, I think you're an inspiration to a whole new generation. I think you inspire all of us. So we look at you and we say we could be better human beings if we had the same heart as you do. We could be better human beings if we had the spirit, that you have. I would like to wish you everything of the best. May your star keep rising. May your dreams and visions and ambitions become a reality. May you be able to, exceed and fly past all of us and achieve all that you want to achieve. And I wish you well in this endeavor. And I know that you will be able to achieve the things that you've set your heart to. I mean, you've proven all of us wrong. I mean, you have done what most of us could not do. I've never run two oceans marathon. I've got no ambition of running two oceans marathon. You did exactly that. You want to run international marathons. I've got no ambition of doing that. So this just shows you, the kind of desire that you have, and I would like to wish you nothing but the best. I would like to wish you all the success, and keep inspiring us, and keep being the person who encourages us to do the things that sets our souls on fire. So keep shining, and may you do that which you want to achieve, if not more.
Thank you so much, Nnusi.
Thank you. Yes, this has been Conversation with Nnusi. Our guest for today was Ipeleng Khunou, aka Crazy Legs, aka the Kite Runner. Um, and I hope all of us are inspired, by the heart that he has. I mean, he is a man who was born with the inability to stand on his own. He started running on crutches purely because he was 120 kgs bigger and he didn't think that was life. And he has inspired all of us to do better and be better human beings. So let's connect again. It's a conversation with Nnusi on YouTube, on Spotify and SoundCloud. It's Nnusi Gazi. Let's do it again next week. Keep shining.